Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, here to talk about my cross stitch for the week. And this is Flosstube update number 34, I believe. 34. A little bit of a shorn lamb. I had a haircut this morning. I'm recording this in the afternoon. I try to get these done in the morning. Excuse me. But today, I was out running around getting my hair's cut, and I went to the lobby of Hobbs, as they say, and got a few things. So I just want to update you. So, what I've been doing since last Saturday. Well, last week I recorded in the morning, and then went running around, and I went to Joann's to get a few skeins of floss, just random things that I needed. B5200, I think I got a little of, and I think at Joann's I got this. Oops, sorry about that. Needle art. This is adhesive mounting board. It's like sticky board. I got a couple of sizes, a big one and a little one, just because I didn't get them with any particular project in mind. I just thought I'll need them eventually, I think. And then in the afternoon, I also got a copy of Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, the November issue. This one here. It's got some cute charts in it for Christmas and for some other occasions. You can do, cards and other designs. You can do an advent calendar design and things like that. But along with this, with this issue, this included 3 little gifts. One is this set of like Russian doll ornaments. And at this point, I don't really have any concrete specific plans for those. Although I don't know, I might do them. Came with this really great sampler thing. Christmas sampler thing, and it's a really nice looking chart, and if I had a little more time, I might do it. So I might do it for next Christmas. I don't know, but it also came with, excuse me for turning around and not looking at you, here it is, this little Christmas chart book. So this one has a bunch of different ideas, and there's not a picture of it, but there's a little poinsettia garland kind of thing. I can show you real quick this little picture. This one. So there's a holly leaf garland and a poinsettia garland, and then there's also a garland kind of thing. These are more like band, like you would do maybe round bands or whatever. But I think of them as garlands, and I'll show you why in a minute. If I can find this other one. Oh, this one that is little. I think they're supposed to be like lights or something like that. But anyway, so. Those 3 charts, I'm wanting to pick between them. I might do 2 of them, maybe. I'm looking for things that are simple and quick that I could do for Christmas, because it's already the end of November. Anyway, so this little chart has some ideas in it that I might use. So one of the things. This goes with this. Okay. One of the things I have that I started to do some time ago, I have this little green, it's like a fingertip towel. And it has a little, like a 14 count Ada insert here. And years ago, I was starting to do a design there, and I was using this gold thread. I have the center of the ATAS area um, yeah, marked off. But the gold thread, not only it was before I really knew much about stitching with that gold thread, you know, in a way where it wouldn't fray so much. But also when I looked at it more carefully, I realized that the design I was doing here was going to be too big, just like a few stitches too big. And rather than like trying to rethink it and retard it and whatever, I just pulled it all out. So I had this towel sitting around, and I had thought, well, I'll do something Christmassy or whatever on it, but I had never no specific plans until now, and so I'll do it. I think I'm thinking of doing this from my mother, doing the poinsettia garland, possibly. It's kind of gonna depend on whether or not the greens in the design show up on this dark green fabric. But I might just do them anyway, and just like maybe if the greens are too dark, change them out a little bit or something for something a little brighter, maybe. I don't know. Or, yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, so, oh, excuse me, this cat is trying to destroy everything. Stop it, please. Not for cats. So, I also did, on Saturday, I did some, or during the week, I did some dyeing. I had mentioned last week that I experimented with berry dyeing, and I wasn't real happy with one of the pieces of cloth, and I was going to try re-dyeing it with some strawberries that were left, and I did. And so this I took the second piece of cloth that I had done before, and I stuck it in the strawberries, and you can kind of see a little pinkishness to it, but not a whole lot. So it's, kind of a success and kind of not. I haven't ironed this yet, so you can't really tell a whole lot from it. Anyway, so there's that. And I did two others with some coffee and tea. I have some blonde roast coffee that nobody in my family likes. It's very nice coffee, but it I should say expensive coffee kind of, but it's blonde roast. So I don't know if I didn't use enough, or it just, because it's blonde roast, didn't dye the same way as regular, good old American Folgers coffee does, whatever. But but it came out kind of very, very light. So the cloth that I had stuck in there, I was tea dyeing something else, so I put it in the tea as well. So this is coffee and tea dyed. And it came out kind of, a lighter brown, but yeah. I think it was white to begin with. Yeah, it was white to begin with, 32 count linen. And so I stuck this is coffee and tea dyed. It's hard to tell. It looks very white in the video, but it's in real life it's kind of more of a light tan color. And then this one is 18 count Ada, and it's tea dyed. The tea that I used on this is from Nepal, I believe, and it's actually kind of like a chai tea, I think, but rather than like loose leaves or whatever, it's these little tiny little round balls about this big. So they're almost as big as, like, if you think of coffee grounds, but slightly bigger than coffee grounds. But anyway, it doesn't smell particularly one way or the other, but I like this. This came out very nice. It came out very dark. And there's some little modeling of white in there, or lighter color. But it came out very nice. So this is 18 count ivory Ada cloth made by Jan Lin. Anyway, so the thing that I was waiting for anxiously last Saturday was this Tomato Dame chart. And now Amy of Amy Loves Toads had showed this chart on, I think it was on Instagram. And I thought, oh, well, that would be perfect for my niece. She just absolutely is a tomato fiend, even more so than I am, and I love tomatoes. My niece really, really loves tomatoes. Anyway, but I thought this was just too perfect for her. There's a little woman here, and she's got a little sign that says 10 cents. And there's crows or ravens or something. Excuse me. Ravens, or I think they're ravens. Anyway, crows. Sitting in the tomato there. And anyway, it's wonderful. But this, it's my understanding, this is an exclusive kit designed for dying to stitch the LNS. But I guess I'm assuming at some point this chart, well, I don't know if it's going to be released to the public or whatever, because on the back it was done, the kit was done in Weeks Dye Works, and they put everything together for it, in the kit. And it wasn't like exclusive to a retreat or anything like that. It was exclusive to the shop, so you had to contact this shop directly to get these kits. And I think I got the last one, I think. Anyway, but there is a DMC chart. Where the Weeks Dye Works flosses were also converted to DMC, so you could stitch it all in DMC. So if you didn't have the kit, you could do it, yourself, one way or the other, either Weeks Dye Works or DMC. But so I imagine at some point it'll be released to the public. I don't know. I may be talking out of school. But I was very anxious for this to come. So Dying to Stitch is the name of the company, and just I scribbled all over this floss card. But they sent, there was a detailed thing about where all the stitches were, all the flosses were. But I made little floss cards for them, so I could, they'd take up a little bit less room or whatever, to be a little bit less bulky. But so, excuse me while I untangle what I'm doing over here. So the little vine that I stitched, I'm almost finished with the vine areas, but it was in this Weeks Dye Works bullfrog. I still have one section to go. I'm going to show it in a second. And the big tomato is done in this chrysanthemum, Weeks Dye Works chrysanthemum. And I have a little bit of the big tomato to go, and then the several of little tomatoes. And then the other colors are here. So this is my first time working with a lot of overdyed flosses. Fancy floss, as some would say. But there's Havana and Cayenne and this one is Terracotta. and bright leaf and parchment and whitewash, which is just a tiny bit whiter than parchment, and then mascara for the black. And then there's a couple of DMC colors that were used for smaller sections, DMC 924 and 407. So those are all included in the kit. And they also included the backing fabric and chenille trim made by Lady Dot Creates. This came with this velveteen backing fabric. Sorry about the glare. I'm not going to take it out of the package. And the chenille here. This is by Lady Dot Creates. It's 100% cotton velveteen for the back of this little pillow design. So it also came with fabric. This is Virginia Beach Brew, I think, by R&R Productions. And let me see. Let me turn this light off a little bit, see if that helps. Yeah. So the fabric, according to the little note they sent, was either 32 count or 36 count. And since I got the last kit, I haven't measured this to see what it is, but I'm assuming it's 36 count. I don't know. But it's stitched to 1/2, except for, like, I did one of the crows, the first crow, because he was kind of in the center here. And his little face is done 1/1. And I haven't put his eyes in yet, but they're also done 1/1. And it's a little daunting. It's very, very tiny. Stitching that 1/1 like that. But also, like this this little sign that the Tomato Dame is carrying. This little sign is all 1/1. This area here. The handle of the sign is not, but the sign itself is all 1/1. And then, like I said, the little crow's faces and eyes are stitched 1/1, and it's very tiny. But I'm hoping to make. I've made pretty significant progress on it so far. So I have. Let's move this elephant out of the way. I have a section of vine and all the tomatoes, the small tomatoes that go in here. And there's going to be a wagon down here and the Tomato Dame herself and on this side. And then one little tomato on the ground over here. There's a cat making messes over there. Anyway, so this came Saturday evening or afternoon or whatever. And so I started working on it last Saturday night, and have worked almost exclusively on that just because I've been excited about it, and because it's a lot of stitching, and I'm trying to get some headway on it. Anyway, I didn't want really to do cross stitch gifts for everybody, because I kind of did that last year for Christmas. But as things are turning out, it's kind of the way I was going. So those are kind of my Christmas plans, to do the Tomato Dame for my niece, and then I have mentioned before the Prairie Schooler Santa. I haven't really made any more progress on it since last week. The Prairie Schooler Santa. This is for my younger sister, and the Lizzie Kate one of the 6 Fat Men series. This little snow fun. And again, I haven't made any progress on it since the last time I showed it to you. But this is for my older sister. And if I may or may not get to this for my nephew, but I had started it for him for his birthday, and then it was very difficult to do on this little wooden medallion, and I have a different idea about how to finish it, because what was really hard was trying to get a needle underneath, underneath these threads to finish, to finish up the thread, because, the wooden medallion doesn't have any give the way fabric does. So if the needle won't go under the threads, the stitches to secure it, you can't move the fabric or anything like that, because there's, it doesn't give. So I may or may not finish this. It just kind of depends on on a lot of things, like losing the medallion behind my bed. Anyway, I'll attend to that later, I hope. But so I did the white buffalo I showed last week for my brother. Excuse me, there's a cat over here trying to mess things up. And like I said, the towel I think I will do for my mother. And so I was trying to think, well, there's sort of a couple of other people, at least. My aunt, one of my aunts, my mother's younger sister, who's going to come out here for Christmas, I think. She's coming out for Thanksgiving, so I'm assuming for Christmas as well, but I usually do something for her for Christmas. And one of my cousins, I was thinking of doing something for her also. But so I have this little pillow kit, and it comes with this, which is I'm not real interested in. But the reason I bought it was this, little kitty idea, and it also has a chart for these flowers. I wasn't really excited about that aspect of it. And so I might do a different idea, like something from that little chart book that I have. It came with this book that has these designs in it. But the kit comes with 8 of fabric, and it comes with some backing fabric, a little felt, and some floss. Only comes with 2 colors of floss, because I think it's basically a kit for the sweet bed idea. But it comes with foam to put inside the pillow, and a couple of needles. So I might stitch something on that fabric. And then also I bought a few things. I went to Hobby Lobby again today, because I needed some floss for those the designs in that chart book that came with the Cross This Crazy magazine. So I had been thinking about doing some of those charts, and so I needed some floss for that. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and I knew that I was going to buy a few more things while I was there. But so I bought a piece of this 28 count even weave in white that I will dye for my dyeing experiments. I want to experiment with avocado pits and leaves. I've been watching tutorials. They're really mostly about dyeing yarn or clothing with them. But the idea is the same. It's kind of a pinky color, so I may or may not do that. We happen to have some avocados the other day. My sister was going to try to make guacamole, but she said that the tomatoes the avocados are either too old and too, yucky, and kind of, we'd had it for about, I don't know, a few days, and so they were a little on the yucky side. And then the new ones she had just bought were, one of them she used, one I guess was kind of too hard, so I had to clean up the the avocado skins and things quite a bit before I can use them to dye. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that. It's just, it's in the remnants are in the refrigerator right now, so I can see if it's gonna be, too much work to do or whatever. But anyway, so I bought some more bobbins because, you can always use, I need more bobbins anyway. And I bought another pair of scissors because I have a lot of projects going on now. And I bought some these little towels. They don't really have like 8 o'clock inserts or anything like that, and they're like, one is off white. They both look white on the camera up here. You can kind of tell the difference. One is kind of an off white and an ivory color, and one is an actual white. But they are sort of an even weave kind of 8 o'clock looking kind of thing. So they would work for like probably 14 count-ish embroidery or needle cross stitch stuff. You can do very easily on something like that. So these are probably going to be candidates for dyeing as well, because I've gotten to the point where, kind of like with my bed sheets, no white. Sheets on my bed. I haven't had white sheets, I don't know what, since I was a kid, maybe. I don't know. They're pink or green, or I have some that are sort of a pinkish color, purplish pinkish color. But more, I'm partial to greens and blues and other colors like that. So I haven't had white sheets on my bed in ages. And it's gotten to be the same thing with cross stitch fabric. I've experimented with dyeing and sort of like mad scientist mode or something. And so I see white cloth, think, what color what could I dye that with that would make it a good color? So yeah, I'm kind of into that now lately. So the Tomato Dame is my latest chart that I'm concentrating on. I've kind of set aside the Santa's house thing because that's really just for me, and the other projects are for other people for Christmas. And for the guys, my dad and my two nephews and my brother-in-law and my brother, I'm probably gonna go, get something else, other kinds of gifts or whatever. And for my sisters, my younger sister's in-laws, her mother-in-law and her sister-in-law, I will probably get something else because I don't know if I have time to stitch anything for excuse me, for either of them. And anyway, it's kind of a difficult situation for my brother-in-law's mom. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for my brother-in-law's family. I haven't decided, but so I'm gonna try to stitch my little fingers to the bone on these other things so that I can get some, at least, small gifts, partial gifts out to various family members. So I have kind of a lot on my plate for Christmas and not a whole lot of time because everything that I'm doing right now, I have to finish. FFO in some way. So that, stitching is not a problem. I could, stitch, but it's FFOing everything. And so, watch this space. I'm hoping to have an FFO palooza, finishing palooza, sometime before Christmas. I don't know, because got all the holidays and family and things like that in between now and then. So, but I have a lot of stuff. So hopefully now, between all the dyed cloth that I have and all the new things that I bought, somewhere along the line I'll have things to finish for everybody. I think that's everything. So I don't know if I said my name is Elizabeth Martinez. Start again. Elizabeth Martinez. My name is Elizabeth Martinez. That's my name. Also known as the channel is also known as phantastitches. You can find me on Facebook in the Friday Off the Grid group as Elizabeth Martinez, or on Instagram as Fantagray. And both of those names will be listed below. So thank you again for my returning viewers, subscribers, and for anybody who happens to have stumbled across this Flosstube. Welcome. And I'm glad you watched all the way through, for those of you who did. And hopefully next week I'll have a little more progress on my Christmas projects. Of course, next Thursday, this coming Thursday, is Thanksgiving. And, my niece and my aunt will be visiting from out of town. And so I'll probably, we'll be doing stuff over the weekend or something. So I don't know if I'll do an update next week or not. But hopefully next time I do an update, I'll have more to show. And I think that's it. So until next time, happy stitching. Bye.